Hello and welcome to another episode of the Construction Corner Podcast. I'm Dylan, I'm your host, and today, guys, we're going to be talking about construction networking events and really how to basically generate business from these networking events that you or your firm might be members of, how to make them successful, and why they work. Again, this is after 15 years in the construction industry, doing $1 billion in projects, and this year alone, we've crossed 140 projects completed, which is pretty cool, right? For a year, and we're not even, or we're right at 3/4 left. We got a full quarter left to do and execute a ton of projects. So, construction networking events. How do we make these successful? Why do we even go? And what can you do to make the most out of each and every event that you attend? With this, like my last quarter of the year, I've got probably a dozen events that I'm going to and participating in. And the thing that I want to point or come across for you guys for all these events is they can be really successful. Now, they're never going to be successful if you go stand in the corner, hold a drink, and nurse it the whole night and never talk to anybody, right? That is never going to make you successful at these events. So what you need to do is be able to go in, talk to people, have conversations with folks about what you're doing, what they're doing, how you can potentially work together, or even if there's not a fit, then like don't force it, right? Like move on. There's a ton of people in the room. There's a ton of people there to talk to. You don't need to be stuck with somebody who's not going to be able to help you do anything. So at the end of the day, these construction networking events are there for a reason, right? People know that they're there to talk to people, find out what's going on in the industry, how our project's going. And that's a really important thing to know going in is what are the 2 to 3 questions that you can ask somebody that kind of breaks the ice, helps open up the conversation and get things going. For a lot of people, that is the hardest thing to do, right? Is how do you break the ice with others in these networking events? So first is obviously, nice to meet you. My name is, right, Dylan. I work at blank, right, at Vertical Design Services or Kowabunga Studios. This is what we do. Here's how we can help. What do you guys do, right? So asking these simple questions of what do you do? Where do you work? How long you been there? How do you like it? You know, how have projects been? What's a project you're working on currently? What's coming up for you guys? These are pretty simple questions that you can ask, but they're open-ended questions as well, to where there's no like yes, no answer. You're not going to get shut off immediately by asking these questions. So when you go into these events, you know, have a couple of these questions preloaded, know what you're kind of going after, right? If you're looking for partners for, you know, a specific subcontractor, you know, for us, obviously, we're always looking for more electrical contractors to work with. And that creates opportunities for us as we go to these networking events. So for you, as you go to these, have a specific kind of goal in mind, and then make sure that you talk to people, right? And so make probably part of that goal to like, hey, I'm going to go talk to 10 people at this networking event over the next 90 minutes or however long it is. And we're going to learn, you know, what they do, how we can help them, how we can improve things with them, and hopefully come out of this with, you know, one potential partner or person that we could do business with. And that is success for most of these networking events, right? It's 1 to 2 people. It's not 10, it's not 100, it's 1 to 2. And if you do that for each networking event that you go to, make it more and more successful as you go, then it's going to compound over time, right? So for each event that I have upcoming, from speaking events to other networking events, you know, happy hours, golf outings, everything that we go to, it's 1 to 2 people. You know, that's all we're looking to connect with to potentially, you know, do something down the road. And if we come out of each of those events with 1 to 2, well, we just went to 10 events. That one person, 10 events, 10 people, right? That starts to really build a book of business. You do this year after year, you know, that 10 turns into 100. And then that turns into, maybe 10 good clients over the next few years, right? So the more that you're able to go meet people, find out what they do, talk about the health of the market, what's going on in the industry. And this also gives you a pretty good feel of, are you having a just exceptionally good year? Are you having a bad year? Are you on par with everybody else and being slammed? And also know that not everyone's going to tell the truth, right? People exaggerate a little bit or a lot of it in what they're doing, how well their projects are going, especially in these things, right? They'll always make it seem better than it is. They're not going to tell you that they're going bankrupt or out of business, right? That's never going to happen. They'll say that things are going well. And it's to keep those things in mind as you go to these networking events, as you have these conversations with everybody, because it's going to really let you know of, who's real, who's not. And some of it you're just not going to know, right? But at the end of the day, it's, the follow-ups after the events, the continued conversations that you're going to have, and to continue to meet people and see where you're going to align. And again, not being afraid to say like, hey, that's not a fit for us, or we don't do that type of work, right? To know your lane, to know what you're going to go after. And that really creates a lot of success with these networking events. So don't be afraid to go, but do shake hands, do meet people, do see how you can help them. And at the end of the day, that's going to make your company a lot more successful. You'll create a bigger network. And then as you move through this industry, everything is built on relationships. So the more relationships you have, the more people you know, the more good you can do, and the more projects you can do, and the better off you're going to be. So guys, that is this episode of the Construction Corner podcast. Until next time.